what is going on in the art scene. What are the artists focusing on? Younger artists. Are we on? Okay, I'm sitting here at supermarket Arthur with Parkingallery from Tehran in Iran.
It's very much on different.
And this is
Amirali.
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 I'm Sina. Really good that you would join us. Oh no, serious TV. We like serious talks. About very serious talks.
Let's go for it.
About what we're doing and why we're doing it, especially with the colleagues from the art world and the colleagues in this artist-run gallery scene. And you are part of this Parkingallery in Tehran.
Yes, I'm one of the founding members of Parkingallery. We started it in 1998.
Close, I think, to get the sound.
1998, I mean, we started it in a parking lot of a building, residential building. I mean, it has place for to park 4 cars. And normally during the weekend we could put the cars out, and then we do something like short and limited projects. I mean, it started as a artist atelier, and then we did small. We started. I was studying graphic design at the moment at that time, so we did a small studio. Designing for the other artists and designing graphic works, posters, websites for the emerging young contemporary art scene back then. So it was like, I mean, it grew slowly, naturally. In 2002, we started.
And you were in contact with a wide, a lot of young artists because you were collaborating with them in that.
Exactly, but I mean, at the beginning, I mean, okay, the gallery scene was not that open yet. So I mean, we are kind of like known as the very first project space in Tehran. They've been collectives, or they have been like group artist ateliers before, or they were like, I mean, but they were really kind of dependent to the one teacher or one artist who had this and was teaching this like to some students. So it was like it was not in the same level. It was always like a higher position of somebody who's running it. But we designed it differently in a way. So we tried to not to be above anybody, just like maybe a little bit also below the average, and give some sort of basic infrastructural services, like I mean translation, publishing, online. At the moment we didn't have funding, and we never applied for funding, and we were funding it through small money we could save from different projects, or like the graphic design things, or some of the members, when they sell something in the art scene, they would put this back in the box, so we could survive so far. So it was like basically what was happening. It was like in terms of video and new media. I mean, also Parkingallery played kind of an important role introducing this to the scene. Before that, it was not very common. It was like the galleries were really interested in like plastic art, like something they can sell, sculpture and painting. Not even photography were that popular. But then few photography galleries started, but also we started to work with some few galleries who were open enough to accept this kind of
more commercial galleries also. That was open to.
Yes, I mean there were. I mean there is not a definition as project space existing in the system. So when we have a project space, I mean we are not registered. I mean, because the galleries need to give a program. I mean, we don't do a program. We are more flexible, and we try to be more. I mean, we don't want to have a monthly, yearly program. We do plan things.
Can I ask you? You say the galleries have to do a program to whom? I mean,
yeah, they have some sort of responsibilities, like to other artists. I mean, because they raise expectation. I mean, we don't have We don't represent artists.
No. Okay.
So
yeah.
beginning we were working a lot based on the open calls, and then we were like, but not call for proposals. I mean, we were like a kind of a curated space most of the time. Very rarely we received some I mean, we received a lot of proposals, but normally we also negotiate with other spaces what we can do with others, or what we can do for the artists. So it's not necessarily we don't necessarily make exhibitions in our space. Now things have shifted. We don't have the space anymore. We have an office now, which is now located in downtown. We defined a project called New Media Society, which also acts as a hub between the different project spaces in other cities in Iran, and also we are because we have a good network in the region and internationally. Like, we are also helping them. For example, the Limited Access Festival that we had, it was also this time in Shiraz, and it will go to another city, Kerman, in May. So we are also interested to reverse the stream of art always going out of Iran, because there is always outside, there is a demand because of this, like, I don't know, market boom, whatever you want to call it. And also you have, I mean, we don't define ourselves in a position with the market, but I mean, it has an, I mean, what we show and our strategy shows that, I mean, there is different things happening. And this is not what you always get in the auctions or the art market or the art fairs. There is also something that, which is most likely in line with what you hear in the news, or is in response to that. There is also a whole new chapter can be imagined, and then the new tracks that we are operating in. It's not like that we are reactional to what is going on. We really look at the context, and we try to understand what is relevant in a way, and we operate. So I mean, that's why we are we are kind of very flexible, because we don't have anybody to report to. We don't have like somebody to. We don't have bosses. Like, so I mean, that's why, I mean, acting also as a hub now gives us a lot of new energy, and also a lot of possibilities to operate in collaboration with other project spaces. So that's how makes us like a project space, like in a floating status, like a float. So yeah, we've done projects, I mean, in Istanbul, in Berlin, in Canada, and some other places.
Has the artist-run art scene then developed? Has it become more project spaces over the years now?
Yes, I mean, it's emerged, I mean, now around like 6 or 7 project spaces in Tehran. They have different strategies. Some of them, they are like half gallery, half artist-run space. Some of them are very closed. We know that they exist and we know what they do, but they are not very exclusive. They don't invite anybody when they have like very famous names. They had Maria Lind, for example, coming over, or Hito Steyl, but nobody see them. Nobody.
Why?
It was, I don't know, it was, I mean, this is like, they were kind of an elitist group. But this, yeah, but we I mean, it's also is kind of small scene too. I mean, we know what is happening.
Maria Lind, the headmaster of the academy here.
Yes.
Is she there? Yeah, I know her.
She wasn't.
When I doing my exam, she was the one. I don't remember what she was, but questioning me or something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's different things happening. A lot of like traffic now is happening because since there are 2 residencies started in Tehran for international artists. And
so if anybody who watch this series TV and they're interested in, do you have any special focus with these residencies?
I'm giving advice to one of them, and which is like I'm giving advice on the curatorial program, but there is also an art residency called Kushk. And then Parkingallery unofficially also has a residency. It's not funded. It's very like a. It's not also theme-based. It's proposal-based. So some people contact us. I mean, they want to come for research, curators, or they want to come and realize a project. I mean, it's up to 3 weeks that we can we can provide accommodation and some networking help, and we don't have, because we don't have a budget for that. And sometimes we work with the embassies that they can, or we can send out letters that they can apply for their travel funds, etc. And we've been doing this since 2006, but we didn't wanted to make big noise about it, because we want to be we want to have our feet on the ground, not to be overwhelmed with a lot of things that we cannot process. So it's not that we want to expand fast or we want to grow fast, we want to be light traveling space.
Yeah, dynamic, changing, whereas the need is.
Yeah, and there's like the video archive also. It's like one of the most comprehensive video archive in Iran. I mean, also sits in our Parkingallery. It's called Parking Video Library. And now we have, with New Media Society, we have a new home for that. So I mean, it will be like a library and the archive with fixed opening hours. For this, we got a fund only for a year from Prince Claus Fund. So we will publish and we will organize workshops and screenings, and we will do publication. So this is like our new thing. I mean, we got a new office in a building, in a shared artist building, that they have also a screening program that we can do a lot. And we do exchange the archive with other existing archives and other spaces.
Yeah, what is, can you access the archive from the internet?
No, you can access the database, because I mean the speed of the internet is not that fast that you can operate online, and not the artists are not, some of them, most of them, they're not very ready to put their material online. Some of them, they have Vimeo channels, some they don't. So I mean there is a index, and there is like a full offline access, and then from time to time when curators are contacting us, I mean, we are responding with what we think is relevant, or and then we do. We document and catalog what we have done. So I mean, there's like around 35 screenings that we have been doing, like from Brazil to China to like all.
Can I ask you, how is it? I mean, if I should go to Tehran, should I apply for a visa?
You don't need a visa. No, you don't need a visa for a short travel. If you want to stay longer, yes, you do. But I mean, it's not that difficult.
Like a tourist, it's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, you can get upon entry at the airport. I mean, you can receive it with like a 2 weeks visa immediately. Yeah, but I mean, for just a visit, exploring the scene, and doing some also leisure and sightseeing is enough. But I mean, for longer programs, residencies, I mean, then I mean, it can be applied from the embassies. And I think the strategy of the government is like to open up a little bit. They're just a little bit afraid that there are journalists coming in disguise of the artist, or in disguise of,
they're not afraid of artists, they're afraid of journalists? That's funny.
Yes, because these are the people who just come one time, and then they want to make a story out of it. They're putting like cliches and something, they want to make something controversial, newsworthy. It's in line with what you hear maybe in the television or in the internet. So I mean, normally, I mean, they don't really appreciate that. I mean, I can understand that, because also it's not enough time for an in-depth understanding when you do this, and you have a limited interest, and you're looking for like a digestible fragments of bits and pieces, which looks good on your, like, I don't know, on your publication or your. I mean, I mean, as a project space, I mean, we've witnessed a lot of people with this kind of attitude. I mean, even publishing some private pictures of people without their permission, doing some unethical kind of things, because they were finding it like Iranian people partying, for instance, very cool or very exotic for them. You know, just like everywhere else. I mean, people meet, people socialize, people drink, people dance. I mean, it's nothing wrong about it. It's not that just like there is a question of like private and public, and where do you do it. So I mean, maybe you don't do like an outdoor concert the way you do it in the summer in Europe, but there's also a vibrant music scene, there's a theater scene, there's also even a contemporary dance scene.
That's what I love about coming to supermarket, because you meet about, you have the same interests, and you meet people from all over the world, and you find out, like you can talk away from all this. You have this superficial knowledge. We're so globalized, but it's just so superficial, all the knowledge that you get. So it's great to come in and get like a peek into a totally different, what is behind all this myth that is created. It's very interesting to hear about so much dynamics in the video scene in Iran. And I guess that your initiatives had been also generating waves in the contemporary arts environment that influenced people to start working.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the beginning, there was like, there was not so much interest, but of course, people were coming in from different disciplines, and then started experiment with the video, and the video apparently grew because also it was in the time of sanctions, and there was not big production, exhibition wasn't really happening. So it was they needed funding, they needed shipping, things to be taken care of. Now, there is insurance problem. For this big production exhibitions that we've been involved in some of them somehow. For example, we curated a big exhibition in India, which was like with a 63 artists, and it was like a big. But then it affected also how we can operate. So with the medium of video, you can show documentation, you can show like video performances, you can show documentaries, animations, a lot of things you can take in, even sound performances documented. So that we've been focusing on different sister disciplines in a way, showing them through the video, and that's how become more and more interesting and expanded in a way. So yes, it definitely had an impact on the scene, and then at the end of the day, I think now we can say that it's an accepted form, which wasn't like 10 years ago. It wasn't the case, and now it's around like 300 artists in the archive, around like 700 pieces works. Yeah, but now they are now also making workshops and focusing on the preservation of the older materials like Super 8, like VHS things, and people might have somewhere, and then they're dissolving, and then they're like being forgotten, and then hasn't been researched or hasn't been written about. So one of the New Media Society's role is like to generate knowledge about that kind of a possible timeline. And yeah, I've been also presenting and lecturing a little bit about this in Warsaw and Linz and Kiel, and then I did it the last time in February in Tehran. So this is a beginning of a publication that we're working on, like a Iranian new media timeline that hopefully will be coming out next year.
You have a piece here at the fair with you. What is it? What are you working with? What is this about?
I've been recording happening around me with digital camera since 2001, 2002, and this scene happens in 2006 when we were on some friend's house in a mountain, and then there was a heavy snow, so we had to stay at night, and this is the morning after. There are musicians and there are some artists. One of the artists started to roll a ball of snow, and then the other, while in the background you see him, he gets bored and he goes on the grand piano, starting playing some jazz music, which is like it was a very strange combination that was happening. So the girl apparently makes a big head out of the snow, and then. Also, what was happening in the sound level, it was really interesting for me. It's a one-shot video. It is not touched. I just added some black circles rendering on the faces, because I didn't know how do they feel about me just taking this private moment of them publishing it. So I wanted to be also on the safe side. I mean, I let the sound in. The sound is untouched, but the video is like somehow a little bit altered. So we rendered like black circles on the faces, so you don't know who they are. It can be anybody. Also, the same kind of things I used in some of my photographs. I mean, taking pictures of the day. I mean, socializing people. I mean, small gatherings or parties. I mean, it's in the same line with that. So I mean,
Why?
Why I did that? Because I mean.
No. What's the title? Why? What is the piece about? Like, why? What is your reason for
doing so?
Yeah.
I mean, in this piece, in this actually is a part of the series. I mean, I take something from the ordinary life, that something like a surprise happens. And in this film, when you have this single shot of the landscape and somebody pulling the snow, and then when it shifts back and goes to the house, it's like a really big house with a big fireplace, a grand piano, and you don't expect that because this was happening in the background. So when this was the shock factor in the film. So I mean, and it's just a click. I mean, it's not something. Wow, it's not something extraordinary. So it was like coming like again with the line of what we have, strangeness of banality, where the theme that we selected most of the works of this booth. So it was like we tried to cover that in photography and video. So it had a theme. It was not just like we didn't want to bring the best of best, which I don't think it exists. We didn't want to show off how brilliant is Iranian video artists are. It was just like we were thinking, okay, maybe it's interesting to see what is the regular. How is the regular life without making like strong statement against this or that? So, yeah.
Do you have a website or somewhere people can?
Yeah, it's parkingallery.com with 1G.
Okay, can we say parking?
Parkingallery.
Parkingallery.com.
Yes, this is our website.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Please
Thank you.
Thanks.